When I was younger, I'd always see advertisements for medicine online. It didn't matter if I was watching SpongeBob or now that I've grown up, now that I'm watching a bit more mature TV like
or SpongeBob,
I'm still seeing some of these advertisements that are all for prescription drugs that you need to talk to your doctor to sell. And from when I was young, I always thought that it was always really nice for these companies to have that opportunity to put their drug in front of the people that it may be able to help. And so, you know, if you're dealing with depression, you'll be able to find a pill for that. And if you're dealing with eczema, you can have a pill for that. If you're dealing with irritable bowel syndrome, you have a pill for that. Boom, advertisement in front of you. And I always thought that was really nice. As a kid, I always thought it was great because you're out, you know, everywhere around the world, they would always get these drugs in front of the people that need them. Right? Well, as it turns out, not everywhere does this. Only America and New Zealand let big pharma, these massive fucking companies, advertise their prescription drugs. And I don't even want to dive into the ethics of the ability to, or allowing companies to have this ability to advertise these drugs, because it's weird because all these people that have these issues, let's say someone's suffering from depression and then they see this commercial for a drug that can, you know, cure their depression. It's the save all. It's amazing. It'll do everything that they want it to.
2 out of 3 people taking an antidepressant may still experience unresolved symptoms. Rexulti, when added to your antidepressant, has been shown to reduce symptoms of depression.
They'll see this commercial and then they're in there asking their doctor if it's a good fit for them. Let's just be honest. No doctor has the amount of time to know every single thing about every little patient. And no advertising company or big pharma company knows that this drug is going to be good for you. That's why there's 10,000 little disclaimers at the end, which is like, yeah, it could cure your depression, but you might also be more prone to suicide afterwards. So you're seeing all these things that are just completely inappropriate to advertise people. People don't know if it's going to be good for them. People don't know how their body is going to react. And no doctor has enough time or just the capacity to understand everything about every patient that they're seeing and appropriately prescribe a drug. So if someone walks in there and is like, I'm feeling depressed, I want drug X, then I feel like a doctor is inclined to give them that drug because it makes it seem like that patient, I almost said consumer, which is inappropriate, but also the perfect word to describe it, that consumer will, it looks like they've done their research. So why should the doctor say no? This brings me to the main point of this video, which is an ad that I saw for a drug that helps reduce the symptoms of plaque psoriasis.
It's called Tremfya.
Now, I was watching this commercial, and I hate every commercial that I've ever seen. I worked in advertising for a little bit, which was the biggest mistake of my career so far, because I just found it detestable. But I dealt with some advertising, and I was able to see some good advertising, some bad advertising, and then some really bad advertising. And this one caught me very off guard. It's a high budget, it's a huge medical company, and they're trying to make doctors and patients more familiar with their drug, which can help reduce the symptoms of plaque psoriasis. Plaque psoriasis, if you don't know, can cause some itchiness in different parts of your bodies, red, rashes, itchiness. And, you know, I've met people that have plaque psoriasis or eczema, which is, they're different, but they have similar symptoms. And I know people that are self-conscious about those symptoms. You know, if you have a big rash along your arm that takes up your entire like upper arm, bicep, and tricep, then yeah, you might be a little bit insecure if someone sees that and they comment on it, or even notice it and go, that is a clear reason for people to have issues. Maybe they want to wear long sleeve shirts because of that, or whatever else. Well, this commercial, already terrible. It starts off and it's just these guys rubbing their neck because it's itchy, and this text it's a stupid ass text.
Plaque psoriasis can be relentless. Your plaques are always there at the worst times, constantly interrupting you with itching.
And then all of a sudden,
burning and stinging. Being this uncomfortable is unacceptable.
They show a third person, and this woman, it's as if this lady and this man just had a first date. And this woman, she touches her sleeve. It says, "Where do you think your date noticed?" Right there. And then all of a sudden, this already unethical drug advertisement turns from unethical to feeding off of people's insecurities. And that is the most scummy business practice I've ever seen in my whole life. I don't understand it. Why would a company literally just play off of the insecurities so that people will walk to their doctor and be like, you know what, I'm insecure about my plaque psoriasis. I think I need this drug. And then the doctor has no reason to really refuse it. There's no reason for someone to go and be like, morning doc, I'd like some Tremfya today. Okay, why do you think you need it? Well, I have plaque psoriasis and I saw this commercial that made me think that maybe it could help my symptoms down a little bit. Well, that's fucking fine with me. Here you go. My fucking signature, and there you go. There's a prescription. Take it to your nearest pharmacy and you'll have that in like a day. It's just weird that someone can walk in knowing about a drug that they wouldn't know about unless it was seen on a TV commercial and then asking for it and then receiving it. Now, I know that sounds weird because it's like, yeah, Scott, well, I mean, if they don't know about it, how are they gonna get it to help them? I understand where you're coming from, but don't you think that the job shouldn't be in the hands of the person that walked in there looking for help? Wouldn't it make 100% more sense for the doctor to diagnose or look at the symptoms of whatever's happening? They'll sit there with their little notepad, their shitty ass writing, and they'll just say, okay, well you have this, you have a rash. Where is that? Right on your upper arm? Oh, you have one on the back of your neck too. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, well, you know, I've seen a lot of people with plaque psoriasis come in here with those exact locations, that exact kind of scaliness, itchiness. You know, let me look into this, make sure that's what it is. And then doctor steps away, he looks up plaque psoriasis and eczema, he tries to see which one it is, he figures out that it's plaque psoriasis through whatever deductive reasoning that he has. And then he comes back and says, yeah, this is definitely plaque psoriasis. You know, I think we could probably do something about that. There's actually this drug out there called Tremfya that there are some disclaimers with it, as there are with any drugs.
Tremfya may lower your ability to fight infections and may increase your risk of infections. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or have symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough. Before starting Tremfya, tell your doctor if you plan to or have recently received a vaccine.
We'll be able to thoroughly go through those with you, but I think Tremfya is going to be the good drug. Doesn't that process make significantly more sense? Because it's in the doctor's hands than anything else? So these big companies are just forcing their product into people's faces, and then they're even playing off the insecurities to make them go in and ask for their doctor, or ask their doctors for it. And then after that, it's just all willy-nilly. The company doesn't care if the person gets any better. They don't give a shit at all, as long as you buy the product. And if it does work, great, because then you're more likely to buy the product again. But if you walk in there and you act like you know everything because you've seen this commercial, then what's the doctor supposed to do if he's like, I don't think Tremfya is good for you. I think maybe you should try this instead. Maybe try this kind of lotion that's known to get rid of it. It's no scent, it's really good for skin. It'll help brush out some of the rashiness a little bit. Wouldn't it make a lot more sense for them to do that? But if you're going in there, I say you as a very general anybody, but if someone goes in there and they've seen this commercial for Tremfya and they're just like,
I want Tremfya right now, I'm gonna talk to your manager.
What's the doctor gonna do? They're just gonna kind of bend that person's will because no one wants to deal with that customer. If you've worked in service for a day, if you have someone come in to speak to your manager, you want them to get the fuck out as fast as they can, so you just bring them your manager. So instead of thinking about what's good for the customer or what's good for the patient, they're just trying to think about what's going to improve their bottom line. And what's going to improve your bottom line is by attacking your insecurities with whatever disease you have, whatever ailment, whatever mental illness, whatever the fuck that you got going on that's not the 100% epitome of perfect human, which doesn't exist. They're just going to try to sell you on some dumb drug. Like, I've gone to the doctor before for like asthma. I have no problem admitting that I have irritable bowel syndrome. If you have it, it sucks, but keep it up. You know, keep on trekking along. It's awful. You know, I shit like 6 times a day sometimes. Whatever. It's terrible. But I've never once gone and seen a commercial for it, and I'm happy that I haven't done this, and I'm happy that I haven't gone through this thought process. But I've never once gone, you know what, I shit 6 times a day, and I just saw this TV commercial. Let me go. Let me go and talk to my doctor about this exact drug. I'm glad that I haven't taken that thought process, but that's just not the thought process that I've taken. But I know that there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that have taken the thought process and the plan of action is, I saw this commercial, this is point A, I have this is B, this is C is solution, so let me just take point A and point B and get there together. And it's just commercials like this that kill me. And then the fact that there are all these disclaimers at the end, literally just talk about how they're going to worsen your immune system. It's like, I feel like the only reason they wanted to play off the insecurity of, did your date notice? Is because they know that all these disclaimers, which are going to lessen your immune system, are fucking terrible, and they need something to try to push people and pressure people into it. Look, take whatever medicine you need to. I'd never say don't take medicine, especially if it's something that can save your life or whatever. But just, you know, try not to listen to the commercials as much.